My dear brothers and sisters, during these blessed days of Ramadan, the last 10 days of Ramadan, where people are focusing on pleasing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, secluding themselves, isolating themselves from dunya, and focusing on the hereafter. Reflecting on this and reflecting on what we see, certain things sometimes you can't help but it triggers your self-check. Self-check, like the other day when I was just after the salah, a brother came and he just wanted to accept Islam. What do you know about Islam? Nothing. Have anyone talked to you about Islam? No. Read about Islam? No. Why you want to accept Islam? I just feel that what I am believing is not the right thing. Feeling, subhanallah. It's the fitrah, as I mentioned before. It's the way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created you. Connecting with God and knowing God, it's in us. That's why when someone accepts Islam, we say revert, not convert. Revert means you were originally Muslim, you deviated because of culture, because of parents, because of environment, and then you're coming back to where you were. When I finished with the brother, another sister was over there, the same thing. I thought it was like a plan. I said, you know the brother? She said, no. And I said, subhanallah, she's coming here and about to leave looking for someone to talk to her to accept Islam. The question is, what are we doing? That's the self-check. What are you doing, brother? What are you doing, brother? What am I doing? Yeah, we have enough people. Why the message of Islam is not really passed out, not giving? Why people work in places and companies or employ non-Muslims and don't even dare to mention Islam or talk about Islam or even change their name so they don't look like Islam or Muslim or the way they look? What kind of love to the religion? What kind of confidence in what you believe in? What kind of conviction is that? When you hide your identity and try to not involve yourself under this is work and this is not appropriate and all of that thing, and when it is actually appropriate and the right thing, you just chicken or don't care. That's one of the two. It cannot be a third one. Subhanallah, today or yesterday, a brother called me. And he said, I want to speak to someone about Islam. So back and forth, we have finals in the school and all that. So I told him to come yesterday. He said he works and today is off. So we talked. He said today, inshallah. And he came and I talked to him. It's like, wallahi, I don't want to pass things. Brother Aiden Trevino. Come over here, brothers. I don't know. Honestly, what kind of a religion do we have? How proud you should be of whom you are and what you believe in that attracts people without even knowing. Self-introduction to Islam. It's not because of me or anyone. They are looking for it. We are created, we have to worship Allah. If you don't worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you're worshiping something else. It can be as much as worshiping your own self or your brain or your intellect or something. So you have people who are thirsty and dying to know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but because we are not that good of Muslims, honestly, with all due respect, we're not passing much to other people. We're not really contributing. And if we contribute, we don't support. Like yesterday, for instance, I did try to help Al-Ansar Center, which is really a masjid and a center serving the reverts, which is something the day before I was going, how can we in DFW be so big and not have a center to take care of those brothers and sisters who accept Islam? Wallahi, it's a shame. Wallahi, it's a shame. What does it take to build a center or to rent a center? $4,000 a month, $1 a person. One person can take care of it, but it's not. And we rely on masjid and this and that, and sometimes it's not available. We need some place for help. So anyway, I did, maybe 10 people or 15 people actually showed up. What kind of love to religion? What kind of dedication to religion? It's not just enter Islam. What's after that? They don't know anything about it. This young man came, are you fasting, brother? Check this out. Fasting, when he learned about reading videos, YouTube, here and there, he learned, I was talking to him, everything I'm talking to him, it's like, makes so much sense. When I was telling him the goodness of fast, he said, I know. That's why when I knew that, I started fasting. He knew that in the middle of Ramadan, so he's been fasting for almost a couple of weeks, a little bit, about 10 days, fasting. Well, how do you fast the time? He said, sunrise to sunset. I said, it's not sunrise. He said, yeah, I know, it's like 5 o'clock. Somebody gave him the time. I'm just puzzled how people come to the religion and how people looking for the religion and us not really doing much to help people around us. Neighbors, work, and it amazes me how you work with people and not talk. How you work with people and not give your employees a free hour to come and pray and pay them for it. What is good the money for? إِنَّا أَنزَلْنَا الْمَالِ لِإِقَامِ الصَّلَاةِ. The purpose of the wealth is for the religion. It's not to eat and drink and go home and enjoy yourself. How can we not spend that wealth for the sake of Allah, for the sake of the one who gave you the wealth? Where? The story of Qarun, قَالَ إِنَّمَا أُوتِيتُهُ عَلَىٰ عِلْمٍ عِنْدِي. So you're so smart and so knowledgeable, you earned it. Where is the portion for other people? Where is ادْعُ إِلَى سَبِيلِ رَبِّكَ? Where is call for Allah? Where is وَمَنْ أَحْسَنُ قَوْلًا مِمَّنْ دَعَا إِلَى اللَّهِ? Who is better speech than a person calls people and invite people to Islam? Where is this? Why we are not influenced and affected by Quran and by Hadith, and we raise our hand, we cry for the dua and we don't cry for the Quran. We stand for 15 minutes for the dua, but for the Quran 2 minutes, we want to leave the prayer. Why? Why can't we reflect on the text? Why can't we remember death? You will feel good when you see, wallahi, when I'm seeing this brother here and I'm talking to him, it's like, I don't know to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for this wonderful religion that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed us with. And we look around and we are almost dead. The majority of us almost dead. It's like fast and eat and drink and come Allahu Akbar and Taraweeh and Assalamu alaikum and MashaAllah iftar. What's next? Where are other people? Where are the rights of other people? How can we pass this goodness? But then again, if you're not tasting the goodness, you cannot pass something that you did not taste. Wallahi, it bothered me so much when someone comes to accept Islam and doesn't know about Islam. When someone comes and learns Islam on his own. Now, if he's going to ask for a paper or for a book, God knows where we're going to go to find it for him. Is this how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants from us? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to just build centers and build schools and do this and that. Wonderful, alhamdulillah. But what are the people who don't know? What are the people who don't know? Just let them go to hell? Is this how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants from us? Is this what you do when you feel good about something? It's not. Wallahi, I feel ashamed of myself. Speechless. I just don't know what to say. When I know so many people that they have so many people at work. And I asked in many masajid, I said, bring them, brother, bring them to iftar, bring them to the masjid, bring them to Jumu'ah prayer. They're not going to say no. Tell them paid. Let that $10 go. Do we believe in the promise of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Do we believe that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rewards you 700 and more for every penny you spend? Do you believe that? Or just read the Quran and, yeah, right, it's not time for it. Oh yeah, the business will collapse. You can't go to Jumu'ah. You come the last second of the khutbah because your business will go down. Subhanallah, what trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? You expect yourself to get rich while you disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the one who gives you? You expect to disobey your boss and to reject your boss and the commands of your boss and gives you a raise or keep you with the job? What kind of mentality do we have? Wallahi, I just want you to think, قُلْ إِنَّمَا أَعِظُكُمْ بِوَاحِدَةٍ أن تقوموا لله مثنى وفرادى ثم تتفكروا. Just think about what you're doing. Think about, you think the day of judgment you're going to come with the employees and they're not going to stand before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and tells them, oh Allah, I know him, I met him, I worked for him, I was with him, he never introduced you to me. What are you going to say? What are you going to say? Wallahi al-azim, when you come and you see people holding, I told you a story before. My own brother, I kept telling him, the masjid is behind you. Why don't you go pray in the jama'ah? And he said, oh, leave the pharmacy. And, I can't close. And I said, Habibi, close it. Close it for the 15 minutes. If it's written for you, it will come for you. Decreed, you're going to get it. 2 or 3 years after that, he told me, I'm going to tell you this story. I did go to the prayer, and guess what happened? He said, I came back, and there was one sister at the door waiting. And I asked her, she said, I came to your pharmacy. It was closed. I went to the nearest pharmacy. They told me, you're the only one who have the medicine. So I came back to your pharmacy. وَفِي السَّمَاءِ رِزْقُكُمْ وَمَا تُوعَدُونَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He writes, He writes. When He promises, He promises. Just fulfill in the promise. Brothers, not much talk. I know this young man here wants to join you. And not only join you, so he probably, inshallah, be coming. Do we have iftar every day or every weekend? Every day? Inshallah. So he will come, inshallah, join you, and he's one of us, inshallah, already one of us, but to confirm that with you, because we like to feel good for him and good for everyone. Sheikh means religious person, so I may call you Sheikh optimistic that you will be a religious. Sheikh Aiden, repeat after me. Ashhadu.
Ashhadu.
Anna.
لا
لا
إله
إلا الله.
إلا الله. وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. I testify
that there is
no deity
worthy of worship
except Allah. I testify that Muhammad
is his servant and messenger.
And I testify
that Jesus is his servant and his messenger. And I believe in heaven and hell. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. And I believe that you are a brother, and I'll give you another hug, and I'll give you a big one. Brother, make sure you have cologne and perfume and stuff when you hug the brother, right? How many hugs can you handle? It's a lot of people here. جزاكم الله خيرا. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. See the brothers here. Assalamu alaikum.